to Lorelli Incorporated. Today's video is going to be on conspiracy theories surrounding the show Ed, and Eddy. If you aren't familiar with the show, it is an American-Canadian show that made its debut in 1999 on the network Cartoon Network. This show was based on three preteen boys named Ed, and Eddy and their mischiefs and adventures in the imaginary town of Peach Creek in their suburban cul-de-sac neighborhood. The conspiracy surrounding this childhood cartoon show is actually that the Peach Creek cul-de-sac is actually a supernatural purgatory where all the kids who live in the neighborhood are dead. Fans since the airing of the show have come up with their own theories on how each character came to be and how each character hails from a different time period, starting from the early 1900s all the way to the late 1900s. And in this video, I will be breaking down each character's fan theory of how their death came to be and how they made their way to the cul-de-sac, and why they live the way they live and why they possess some of the characteristics that they do. The first kid on our list in this suburban purgatory is Ralph. If you are unfamiliar with the show, Ralph is a character with a very thick accent, and his home consists of a farm with different various animals. Fans have theorized that Ralph died in the early 1900s, specifically 1903, when his family settled into Peach Creek, but was suddenly met with his demise during an animal stampede. And fans believe this is why his farm is very small and has very few animals, because he does not want to risk another stampede, which immediately causes death. Sad, right? The next kid on our list would be Johnny 2x4, and the reason they call him Johnny 2x4 is because his best friend is a piece of wood named Plank. People believe that Johnny hailed from the time period of the 1920s and sadly died of tuberculosis right before the penicillin cure was first invented. A lot of fans believe that since tuberculosis was so contagious, he was not allowed to have any friends, hence why Plank became his best friend. And sadly, he succumbed to his illness of tuberculosis, which is why he then ended up in the purgatory of the cul-de-sac. Next on our list is one of our three main protagonists. His name is Eddy. Eddy is the brains of the group. He comes up with all their schemes and scams on how to get money from the neighborhood kids, because there was this ongoing theory of trying to buy jawbreaker candies in the show. A lot of fans have theorized that Eddy came from the time period of the Great Depression, which is why he's so keen on trying to make money. He died in a time period where money was very scarce and people did not have much. Fans have also theorized that his family moved from New York to the Peach Creek cul-de-sac in order to save money by moving to a small, more rural city. A lot of fans believe that the way Eddy died was a scam gone awry, where he accidentally drowned in a lake. Along with that, fans have theorized that Eddy's family is estranged from his father who left them, which is why Eddy idealizes his older brother so much in the show. Although we never see him, Eddy talks very highly of his older brother, despite certain areas where we see that Eddy's older brother doesn't seem too keen to ever be home or ever to give Eddy any attention, while his mother seems to be very distant, where she is rarely mentioned. To a lot of fans, it just makes sense that Eddy would come from the Great Depression, a time where very few Americans had money, which is why he was so keen on making it so quickly and getting it from other people. The next character on our list is our main protagonist, Ed, and his sister, Sarah. A lot of fans believe that Ed and Sarah come from the time period of the 1950s during World War II. A lot of fans believe that Ed's father died in war, which caused his mother to become very distant, which is why Sarah, the younger sister, took on such a bossy and parental role, because she no longer had that controlling aspect in her life of having parents. A lot of fans also theorize that Ed became so engrossed in comics and monster movies because they feel as though this was his escape from his home life, and which is why he doesn't seem to put much effort into anything. A lot of fans theorize that the both characters died in a freak car accident. Could you believe that? What do you guys think? Next on our list is Naz. Naz is said to have hailed from the 1960s and have grown up with hippy-dippy parents, which is why she's such a relaxed character and comes from a time period where a lot of flirtatious and more risque movements were a thing. A lot of people believe that Naz and her family were murdered in the 1970s by a serial killer. However, a lot of fans have even gone as far as saying that Naz had been raped right before her murder and her family's murder. That's pretty sad to think about, especially for a cartoon show. It's pretty dark. Third protagonist, Ed. Not to get him confused with our first Ed, a lot of our characters call him Double D. Double D is said to have hailed from the 1970s, a time period where younger children were graduating early and going to college a lot sooner than we normally do during this time period. A lot of fans have also theorized that his parents were very strict and organized and yet very distant with him, which is why in the show you often see his mother leaving him notes around the house of what to do and how things should be done, which could explain why he's so nervous and anxious all the time with this need of approval from his parents. A lot of fans have theorized that his death came about in a lab chemistry gone wrong with a gas leak and a Bunsen burner. That doesn't seem too outlandish, but still dark for a kid's show. Next on our list is Kevin. A lot of fans have theorized Kevin comes from the time period of the 1980s, reason being that his obsession with his bike really correlates to the time period of the 1990s and the 1980s, where the X Games became very popular among young preteen and teenage boys. A lot of fans have also theorized that Kevin came from an abusive home with an abusive father who was ultimately the cause of his death by beating him so badly that by the time he made it to the hospital, he was already pronounced dead, which is why in Purgatory, Kevin gets a lot of gifts from his father because he has now created this world where his father actually cares for him instead of his father actually abusing him. A lot of kids go through that, but this is very dark for a cartoon show. Second to last on our list would be Jimmy. Jimmy is said to have believed to live in the 1990s and died of leukemia. A lot of fans have theorized that his parents were very protective of him because of his illness, which is why he seems so fragile in the show and why he also died by succumbing to his illness. But fans have also theorized this is why he has Sarah to be there as his protector. If you aren't aware of the show, Sarah and Jimmy are best friends, and since Sarah plays such a parental figure, it makes sense that her and Jimmy would be drawn together because Jimmy never grew up with friends, as fans have theorized. A lot of fans have also said that the reason Jimmy is weak but yet still has friends is because he's getting to live a life he didn't have before he died, while also still holding on to his previous life where he was sick. Last but not least on our list is the Canker Sisters. However, fans have theorized that the Canker Sisters are not actually dead, but are actual demons for this suburban purgatory where they are meant to terrorize the souls of the children. If you have watched the show, you often know the kids do not get along with the Canker Sisters at all. It is oftentimes the Canker Sisters are bullying the suburban kids, while the Canker Sisters do not live in the cul-de-sac. They live on a trailer park on the outskirts of the town near the suburban area purgatory. A lot of fans have also come up with a theory of why the Canker Sisters are so attracted to Ed, and Eddy. A lot of fans have theorized that the reason being is that each boy carries some trait of deadly sins, which the Canker Sisters or demons are viewed to be very attracted to compared to all the other kids. To support a lot of these theories that probably wouldn't make sense to the average person who doesn't think so deeply into the show, fans have theorized the reason that they can tell that characters are dead are because of their tongues. If you've ever seen the show, the characters have different colored tongues, ranging from blue, green, and maybe a purple here or there. A lot of fans feel that the reason that this symbolizes their death is because oftentimes an indication of death in humans is having a blue tongue or going blue in the face when passed away, which is why the blue tongue is such a heavy indicator, while the green could be just a side effect of however they died or whatever illness they succumbed to. While this theory also supports why the Canker Sisters are not in fact dead, because they three are the only ones with normal colored tongue in the show. However, the producer of the show has come out and said that the reason the tongues are different colors are because while creating the show, his children and kids that they would play with would have candies and popsicles and their tongues would be different flavors, and he felt it was a cool aspect to incorporate into the show, but a lot of fans just don't buy it. Some more evidence to support fans' conspiracy theory would be the lack of adult supervision within the show. A lot of the show does mention the parents here and there by leaving a note or what their parents would do if they got in trouble, but we never actually see the parents. And this conspiracy video is strictly based on the TV show and not the TV movie, where we did happen to see Eddy's brothers, but some fans did include the movie within their conspiracy theories and simply said that Eddy's older brother is another demon like the Canker sisters because of the way he torments the kids when he comes to visit town. Some more evidence to support the fans' conspiracy theories would be, along with the lack of parental supervision, is that the show seems to never go past summertime. The kids are never seen going to school except in the movie, which is why a lot of fans do not include it, because it seems to be a whole different parallel world. A lot of fans also believe, along with the seasons never changing, the suburban purgatory seems to be the only setting where kids go, and with the rare few chance of them going into the woods near their suburban area or the trailer park area where the Canker sisters reside. Crazy, right? Now, what are your thoughts on this conspiracy theory? Do you guys actually believe that Ed, and Eddy is actually taking place in a suburban purgatory, or do you feel like fans just took it a smidge too far, or that the producer is just lying to us about what the real intent behind this show is, or if you believe what he is saying? Along with that, let me know down in the comment section below what videos you guys would like to see me create and produce. Let me know what cartoon shows you might be interested in, rants you might like to hear, celebrities you would like me to catch you guys up on. Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for tuning in to Lorelli Incorporated. I hope you guys enjoyed, as more to come from this channel and more conspiracies to come, not just on cartoon shows but people and real life events.